I remember you did your first webinar and there is only zero attendees, right? Zero attendees you have. But fast forward, you made millions of dollars using the webinars. So what pick have you applied into your journey that helped you to make huge revenue?
When I had worked to get my webinar ready, to get absolutely 100% ready to, I built the brand, I built the, part of the online program, and I was ready, and I'd put a lot of money into, learning how to do this thing. And next thing you know, nobody showed up and my heart was broken. I was like, I don't even know if I can do this. I don't know, not only if I can do this business, I don't know if I can do life.
Hi guys, I'm back with another episode on the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. This is where we interview entrepreneurs, affiliate marketer, coaches and consultants. And do you know, in this amazing series, today we have a super energetic lady with us. She started her company over the 10 years ago while juggling a full-time corporate job. She had sold millions of dollars from live webinar and spoke on the most prestigious stages. She is the founder of KAPOW Moment. She won multiple 2 Comma Club awards. She generated multi-million dollar business from $0 and started a movement of tens of thousands of people. So without further ado, let's welcome the one and only Liz Benny on the show.
Hey everyone, how
Hi.
you are doing fabulously. I'm excited to be here, dude.
I'm literally super excited and super pumped up to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm excited. Let's go.
Can you share a little bit about yourself, on your backstory, how you got started, how this KAPOW, KAPOW moment comes into picture? So people who have no idea.
Certainly. So my name is Liz Benny. I'm the queen of KAPOW. I started the KAPOW movement a great many years ago. And it basically stands for the parts of life, if we want to have both business and life transformation. So I'm a business and life transformation specialist. I help people in both departments because, if we want to make a crap ton of money, it's normally because we want a better life. And if things in life aren't working, it's actually hard to grow your business. So I actually focus in on both of those. So KAPOW basically stands for all of the things that you have to do as an individual in order to have the life that it is that you seek and that you really are after. So K stands for connection. So regardless of what your belief system is in terms of God, Spirit, Universe, Allah, Buddha, I don't know what your belief system is, but often connection to a higher power is one of the first things that we need to do to be able to not feel alone. So connection, but also connecting with yourself, right? Connecting with your vision, your mission, your purpose, and who you are connecting with around the world. Who are the people that you're hanging with out the most of the time? Those people make or break your success, period. Okay, so that's why KAPOW actually starts with who are you connecting with? First and foremost, what is it that you're feeding your mind? So connection, authenticity is the next one. And authenticity is both internal and external because you can be authentic outside, but not actually be in alignment internally. So connection, authenticity, purpose. P is purpose, living a purposeful life. And living a purposeful life means that we are doing things that light us up. Like people say to me all the time, oh my gosh, Liz, you have so much energy. How do you have so much energy? I'm like, I love what I do. Period. The end. Okay. Now, it's not to say that I don't have hard times in my life. Believe you me, I've had my fair share of challenges as well. So we're not denying that, which actually leads us into the O part of KAPOW, which is what most entrepreneurs will not ever do. They will say that they want the multi-million dollars. They will say that they want the things. They will say that they want a better life. They will dream of a better life. They will even buy programs, buy masterminds, but they won't take ownership for what they have to do to get the results that they are after, right? Now, if we walk through KAPO, only after you walk through KAP and O do you get the thing that most people want, which is wealth. People are doing it all for money. People are doing it. Listen to what I said. People are doing it for money, but what they actually most want is the other versions of wealth as well. The happiness wealth, the travel, the freedom, the connections. And it's so KAPOW is that. So I literally started as an entrepreneur. I started with a skill. I built up that skill. I sold my skill. I was a social media manager. Then I built a social media management company. And then I sold a social media management program to people all around the world. That's how I made my first $1 million. And people were like, how did you make your first $1 million? And then I taught people how I made my first $1 million. And now I am living life on my terms. I'm living life by design. And it's amazing.
Wow, this is something crazy. And your journey, your KAPOW moment is literally crazy. And the moment then when you share with whom you are spending your time, it is like a proximity is a power. And this is something that is most important. Like your life will make it, or you are going to break your life if you are spending not spending time with some right people, right
Yep.
community.
Yep.
And this one thing is literally one of the best thing. Your KAPOW Kapow moment is literally amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this.
You're so welcome.
It's literally awesome. So I remember you did your first webinar and there is only zero attendees, right? Zero attendees you have. But fast forward, you made millions of dollars using the webinars. So what pick have you applied into your journey that help you to make huge revenue?
Oh, okay. So honestly, and I don't mean to say this over and over and over, but it goes back to the KAPOW movement, because here's the thing, like when I had worked and worked and worked and worked and worked to get my webinar ready, to get absolutely 100% ready I built the brand, I built the, part of the online program, and I was ready, and I'd put a lot of money into, learning how to do this thing. And next thing you know, nobody showed up and my heart was broken. I was like, I don't even know if I can do this. I don't know, not only if I can do this business, I don't know if I can do life. That day, I contemplated very big things in my life. And I want everyone to really get this, because it's very easy to look at millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires and say, oh, their life must be so easy now that they have all that money. What I will say to you is that the journey that you go on as an entrepreneur, it's the most grueling pathway, but the most liberating journey if you let it be that. And, like if I look back and if I could actually have a conversation with that version of me, I'd probably tell myself to pull my head in, like stop being a dick. Because I was being too emotional and not understanding that I didn't have the capacity at that point in time to build the business. So that was actually a beautiful lesson for me, to deal with failure. And, lo and behold, 2 weeks after that, I think I made my first $997 sale. But the thing is that I kept going because I had a why that was bigger than, whatever failure that I'd faced. I really wanted the financial success, because to me, the financial success was a must in order to change my circumstances and my wife's circumstances and the kids' circumstances. We were driving a car that, it had a garden in it. It was a piece of crap. And I think a lot of the time, again, people are like, oh my gosh, it must be so great to have all that money. Shut up. Like, that's like, so here's the thing is that I finished that webinar. Well, I didn't even do the webinar. I got off that webinar and I felt like a useless piece of crap. And I felt like giving up completely. Shame on me for thinking that way. I've gone on to impact hundreds of thousands of lives by me keeping going. And in that moment, I felt I was one of the smallest people in the world, but I was just a light that wasn't beaming as bright as she could yet, because I didn't have the platform for it. I also didn't have the voice yet, meaning I didn't actually, I hadn't learnt enough skills yet. And I just had to keep going. We all just have to keep going. Honestly, I'm not even started yet. I've got life ahead of me. I'm just starting now. So, yeah.
Lots of love on this point, because literally when you mention na, if I give up on that one day, I am not able to make an impact in that much people's of lives, and that is the reason you make so many impact right now, because you didn't give up. You keep going on, you keep going on, you keep push yourself hard, like, no, I have to make it possible. And literally, you are really a super powerful lady, super powerful girl, woman, right? Thank you so much, because you didn't give up, and
Well,
now things are coming to you. That is literally your hard work. People see crappy thing that just you mentioned, but they didn't see the hard work that you put.
here's the other
Awesome.
thing. I'm going to give the people a little bit more
Hmm.
here. That I do keynote speaking for companies now, and it's absolutely amazing. And when I do keynote speaking, I often teach people how to live with full power. And what people don't realize, so I say, you all here now understand KAPOW. There are two other letters. To live with full power, you must have the E and the R. So the E stands for energy. If you're not looking after your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, you cannot get out in the world and be like, "Hi, Mr. KAPOW, my name is Liz Benny." Like, honestly, part of the reason why people hire me is my energy. They're like, "Holy crap, like, I want that." And the thing is that I get up in the morning, I am not juiced up on caffeine. I'm juiced on life.
Amazing, amazing, and
And then
yeah,
the R, can I just get to the R? So
yes,
for
yes.
everyone here, KAPOW, so energy. And the R is resilience. If you want to make it as an entrepreneur, if you want to become a multimillionaire, if you want to impact millions and millions and millions of people's lives, if you want to change your financial circumstances within your family, let's just say, for example, like maybe impacting millions of lives is like, it's too far out there. I just want to change my own personal circumstances. If you genuinely want to do that, you're going to have resilience, period, because you will get knocked down, period.
Loved it. Definitely, energy and resilience. Resilience is something most important, because that is what push you. And now I want to ask you, as you already mentioned, people hire you because of your energy. So, what is
Yeah.
the secret of your energy? What is
Ah,
the secret of Lee's energy?
okay, well, I'm just going to take back a second. It's not like people just go, I just want to hang around with Liz. I want to buy Liz. So I actually have tools, systems, processes, strategy to help people in unlocking their truth. So it's just that I happen to do it in a way that is higher energy than a lot of other people out there. So the secret of my energy, dude, honestly, I have a KAPOW daily protocol that I do, but it's just like there's simple stuff like, are you drinking enough water? Are you feeding I'm pointing at the fridge right now. Are you feeding your body good food, or are you shoving sugar down into your face? Are you giving your body the spiritual alignment that it desires? Are you listening to your body? Are you exercising enough? I know for a fact that if my energy, like, I'm really good, like, if my energy drops, I'm like, oh, what's off? Okay, cool. Well, I just need to go for a walk, or I need to meditate, but I do not, like, I'm pointing at the TV now. I don't sit in front of the TV all day long. I don't shove my food full of my mouth full of sugar. Do I have treats along the way? Yes. But I love how energy feels more than the taste of the chocolate that I might put in my mouth. I love how energy feels more than the other things that I could choose.
Loved it. This is something crazy. That is your health. Your health is your wealth. That is most important. And
Yep.
in fact,
Yep.
if you really wanted to grow long, just focus on your health part. Like, I'm following Russell as well. Like, he's eating so many things that is not we are like, but that is actually good for health.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely
You're
amazing.
following, did you say you're following Russell as well?
Yes, Russell, so much time.
It's so funny. He just sent me a message. He just sent me a message this morning, and he
Oh
showed me,
wow.
so on Voxer. So he sent me a message on Voxer, and he showed me a picture that he had taken of me many, many, many years ago in front of
Oh,
my house before I started to make it. And it was from that exact house. So when Russell came to visit me in New Zealand, he saw that house, and then I took him to the other house that, with the proceeds of the money, we were able to buy a nice house.
Super. He is my inspiration. Because of his one statement in a book, in particular book, go and do 365 days of Facebook Live. I did it because
Yeah.
of his statement. So I'm following him like crazy and apply what Russell say. I'm doing it.
Uh-huh. He's an amazing man. I have the good fortune of calling him a dear friend, and he's a great man, and he's changed so many people's lives, mine included.
So you are in his first few inner circle, first few client in
Yes.
Russell.
Yeah.
Can you share what is your experience by working with him?
Look, here's the thing. I think what people often do is they see someone up on stage, and even though Russell tells us so many stories of, his life, and he talks about his wife, and he talks about his kids, he talks about, ClickFunnels and the journey and all that sort of stuff. And like the Russell that I know him. My experience of working with him is he's a really good man. He really cares deeply about people's transformation, and he's a really good business person. So he's not gonna mess around and just suddenly go, oh, I have everything. No, he makes people put money down to walk the walk that he's had to walk himself too. So my experience of working with him is that he is probably one of the most incredible, most savvy marketers in the world, and he's incredibly humble. And that's one of the things that I really love about Russell, because in this industry, a lot of people lose their humility. They make a lot of money, and then they suddenly think that their poop doesn't stink. Well, everyone's poop stinks, and Russell Brunson's poop stinks too. I should tell him that I was on a podcast today, and I told him that, told everyone that his poop. Not that I actually know that for a fact. I have not actually been close in that area, but he's a lovely man, incredibly humble, and very gifted at what he does.
Amazing, amazing. Definitely, he is really humble, and that is the reality of people feel that if someone is earning so much money, they are not a right person, but literally, he is very humble. I'm not met with him in a personally and don't have any chat with him, but definitely I know he's really humble, and you are. That's the reason all his community members are humble and ground to earth. Thank you.
Well, actually, no, I'm going to correct that. In my opinion, not everyone in Russell's, it has actually, some people have come up and gone, oh my gosh, I'm so rich. And then they've gotten loud and they've gone the rich journey. And then they have been humbled by life. So you can either be humble or be humbled by life.
Wow.
And some people were like, oh crap, and then I was a bit of a jackass. And then they're like, oh, the money didn't make me, so.
Oh, loved it. You're talking a lot about wealth creation, wealth formulas. Can you share a little bit about us, wealth formula for my audience?
Oh, wow. So what does your audience typically do? Are they in the
Coaching,
service-based
coaches.
coaches? Okay, great. Be humble or be humbled, definitely. So for those who if you want my secret recipe for making a lot of money as a coach, what I would say is this: there are 50 million gazillion thousand coaches out there. That is not an official statistic. I just made that up on the spot. Okay. But what I will say right now is that in order to make a crap ton of money as a coach, you have to have a couple of things. Of course, you need to have traffic and something to convert and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to take the marketing part out of this right now and just say that you must have a process to walk your ideal client down. You must have a process to walk your ideal target market, ideal audience down. So when your ideal person arrives, you have the internal conviction and the internal confidence that when they sign up as a client, If they follow everything that you teach them, they will get the transformation that you've promised. The reason why I say that is a lot of coaches just go, oh, it'll be fine. I'm just going to get a client, then I'm going to make crap up as I go along. I'm sorry. That's not fair on them. It's also not fair on you. Now, does this mean you have to be perfect out of the gates? No, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect out of the gates. It just means that you at least, like if you're a health coach, for example, and your secret process in terms of being a health coach is, you know, you've got the ICE method, and you might make ICE mean something like I mean something, C means something, and E means something. Okay. And this is your methodology that you're going to walk the person down. You have to have a pathway. Having a pathway allows you to then dance with the other side, which is the creative side, right? So being an expert coach, if you have a pathway, you can actually dance and you can be more creative, you can have more fun because you've always got the backbone of the path. We as humans, we have a spine, right? We have a backbone. Without our backbone, we're going to be floppy little pieces of jelly on the ground, whatever it is, flopping around, okay? Or our arms won't work. So my point here is that if you want to make a crap ton of money, give yourself the internal confidence of understanding that you must have a pathway to walk your clients down. And, you know, you might walk them down in an online program, in a group coaching program, in a one-on-one program, like whatever it is. And you don't even have to give the client the pathway. You just must have the internal conviction that you actually have this pathway. That means that when you are in the sales process, you've actually got the backing, the internal backing of, I know my process, I know my system. And when you ideal client comes along, then life is good. You know, life is going to be great because I'm going to help you get the result that you want. You're going to pay me. I'm going to get the joy of helping you, and I'm also going to get paid for helping you. They're going to get the transformation, and then they're going to get the joy of the transformation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it is. It is. It is literally amazing. Conviction from your own self is something is the most important thing for everything. Loved it. Amazing. Amazing. We have one question from audience.
So how do we keep the connection with the impact we want to make, even if we don't know exactly what it is, while we fight with the fight to get the financial freedom? Okay, the battle that you're talking about is an internal battle. This this is part of the journey of being an entrepreneur. Is that constant thing of like, my old life is behind me, my future life is in front of me, my old life is behind me, my future life is in front of me. Now, to the degree to which you can program your mind to where you're going and actually not talking things like how we fight to get financial freedom. Why would you want to fight to get financial freedom? Why not walk towards financial freedom? Why not because our language is really, 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 really important. If you're bringing fight energy into this, there's going to be a lot of hate, anger, resentment, force energy along the way. And it doesn't actually have to feel like that. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I made on the way, is that I bought my primary emotion that I was bringing into behind absolutely everything was anger, right? So even though I was, hey, Mr. KAPOW, Liz Benny here, like there was a lot of anger and fight and everything was hard and I had to force and build and like very masculine energy. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with masculine energy. We need masculine energy, we need feminine energy. There's a dance between the two. Every single person here, failure is the pillar of success, everyone says. But how do we keep the mindset? And okay, I'll get to that in a second. So how do you keep the connection with the impact we want to make while we continue towards financial freedom? That's actually how I'm going to answer the question. So it's okay to not know exactly what it is that you want. But what I would say is this: you have to develop a daily routine to condition your mind. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. And condition yourself to understand what it is feeling like to be that person who actually is living that life. Now, the moment that you start saying, I am a millionaire, and you're not a millionaire, your body actually starts to go, well, now I'm a lying piece of crap. All right. So you need to be mindful of the feelings that you're putting out there as you're saying things like, you can say, I'm on the pathway to becoming a multimillionaire. I'm on the pathway to becoming a multimillionaire. I do this through impacting the lives of my clients, and I love what it is that I do.
Wow.
So it's really important to be mindful of our energy throughout this process. And I'm not saying like Marissa Peer, who is a mentor of mine, she actually says, yeah, lie to yourself, lie, cheat your dreams or something like lie to yourself and all that sort of stuff. So the main thing that I will say is be mindful of how your body feels when you're talking about your future. And this is the example of how I will say this. Is that once upon a time I went to a Tony Robbins, I was about to say concert, kind of feels like a concert when you go to a Tony Robbins thing. And I was, and he talks about having affirmations that you say. So I'm a loving, peaceful, joyful warrior who, so I had this I am statement, which was really important. Then the last three parts were I am love, I am peace, I am true to myself. Now, I used to say, I'm love, I'm peace, I'm true to myself. I'm love, I'm peace, I'm true to myself. I'm love, I'm peace, I'm true to myself. And I could deal with saying, I'm love, cool. I'm love, I'm peace. I am peace at my core. Okay, I really am. Even though I'm full of energy, I'm full of energy because I am peace at my core. Please get that. But when I got to the part where I was saying, I am true to myself, I felt like I was lying to myself. Because I was living a life that it was not for me. So saying I am true to myself was actually really, and feeling the distance from actually that being the truth continued me along this pathway of getting out of that relationship that wasn't for me, out of that life that wasn't for me. I quit my job and I became an entrepreneur, and I walked along a journey that is much more me. Because if I continued down that pathway, it would be the death of my spirit, my soul, my joy, my love, my happiness, my bliss. There's so much more out there for me.
Loved it, loved it. I love and I am peace. And that third one is
I am true to myself.
I'm true. And loved it. Super.
And
Thank you so much. This insight.
you're so welcome. Do you want me to answer that next question? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Failure is the pillar of success, everyone says. But how do we keep the mindset intact when you test failure? When you test failure a couple of times. So here's the deal. When I think what you're saying, when you say when you test failure a couple of times, I think what you're saying is when you are continuing to face failure. Here's the thing: is that I fail every single day, and I love it. Whipty crap, like whipty-doo. And I think that we as humans are so hard on ourselves. Like, seriously, like, you don't have to worry so much. That's the first thing I'll say. And like, if you fail, celebrate. Condition your mind to go, wow, cool. Okay, well, that was poop. I just spent all that money on the online program and it turned out to be, crap. Okay, then what do I want? What do I want? Like, what is the lesson out of this? What do I want? Just making sure. I just heard a noise in the background. I don't know what's going on over there.
No worries. No issues.
I'm staying in a friend's house at the moment, so I'm having to learn, like, I don't even know what's going on. So here's the deal, though, is that I fail every single day. And I have learned that failure as a conscious, like as a thing where I get down on myself, I'm basically embedding and making it harder for myself because I'm so hard on myself, and I'll put more cement in the ground and I'll really, really, really get into myself and go, wow, I was crap and I shouldn't do that again. Look at how I'm talking. Does that feel good? Is that how you would talk to someone who you're actually encouraging? Or is that how you talk to someone who you think is a useless piece of crap? Oh, if it's how you talk to someone who you think is a useless piece of crap, then you're actually telling yourself and conditioning yourself, if this is what you're saying to yourself, you're telling yourself that you're a useless piece of crap and you should never fail. Well, part of life is not always hitting the mark, but there's beauty in that. And if you can learn to dance with failure as your friend, life gets so much easier. Just like, cool. Okay, well, that wasn't ideal. And if you learn to just dance, you're fine.
Loved it. Like learn to fail because that is how you are going to deal with the big failure in your life. Because on every step there is a big failures. Next time you don't know which big failure is coming towards your way. But
Yep.
when you are creating your mindset, when you are setting up your mindset, this is something great. Okay, we have one more question. Would you like to take?
There we go. Okay, so basically, how do we get rid of the guilt of focusing on money rather than impact when we first start? Such a great question. Such a great question. Impact is a big word. Impact normally comes after you've gotten yourself out of a really crappy situation. Okay. I want you to know a couple of things here. Impact is this thing like, I want to go impact the world. And we think, and we think in millions of people when we think that, or we think, but why would you feel guilty when you're selling something, so that when you make money, there is a value exchange there, so that there is no guilt. So when you're starting out, you are still impacting people's lives, period. So it doesn't matter, like you're just thinking that it has to be this big grand thing, and I should want to impact the world, but I just want to get out of my own crappy financial situations. Cool, we'll go impact one person's life, sell to one person, make money, and then sell to the next person, make some more money, then sell to the next person, make some money, sell to the next person, make some money. And it's a value exchange, so that you actually literally do not have to. Guilt is a choice. Guilt is a program that you have chosen to take on to keep yourself small. You don't have to have that anymore. Guilt is a very crappy emotion. And for those of you watching and listening right now, my strong suggestion to you is to Google the energy spiral. So I really want people to understand that there is energy, like, and especially, is most of your audience from India?
From both countries, like
Okay, perfect.
India and US.
Oh, perfect. So it's actually the emotional spiral. Okay. So I'm looking at this right now. So for those of you that are stuck in low feelings of energy, or in feelings of guilt or apathy or shame or failure or hatred, those are actually really, really, really down emotions. It's really hard. It's really hard to make money. It's really hard to thrive. It's really hard to beam. It's really hard to go out into the world and inspire the world and make money and get someone to buy your thing when you are riddled with guilt. And believe me, I've been riddled with guilt for years. After I made my first $1 million, I felt guilty. Why? Because I'd made it. I had survivor's guilt. So it doesn't just suddenly become amazing when you make a crap ton of money. You still need to rid yourself of the past beliefs that are holding you back. So this guilt that you're feeling, stop. Like, how do you do it? Number one, make a conscious decision that you are going to stop feeling guilty, because it is not serving you and it's not serving your future. That's it. Now, if instead you can bring yourself up into the top levels of emotions, which are more like abundance and knowledge and freedom and enthusiasm and feelings of freedom, wow, you just watch yourself radiate at a higher level. Ooh, it'll be good.
Ooh, loved it. Amazing. Don't feel guilty. Just work on yourself because you are exchanging a value to the people. Not don't feel guilty. Amazing. Loved it. Thank you for sharing tons of golden insight. One last thing I have to ask. So many time every single mind, like we have to clear with our why, but still sometimes people are not getting clarity on their why, like why I am actually doing it. So do you know any framework, do you have anything to share on how they get clarity on their why part?
Such a great question. Okay. So your why, your why is normally something to do with your biggest pain or your biggest pleasure desire. Okay. So, and you can have lots of different whys along the way. Okay. So one of my very first big whys was to help my wife feel safe. Now, what I mean by that is that she was sexually abused as a child. So her subconscious programming was around the requirement for feeling safe, right? Because she had her safety taken away from her at an age that, whatever. So she said one day, I'll feel safe when we have our own house. So part of my why then became, cool. Let me drive towards and drive out of this crappy situation that we're in, and let me drive towards a really cool situation. And that was an easy why. I didn't like the financial situation I was in. It didn't feel free, and I wanted to get out of it. It didn't feel great living in my house. It felt poor. It didn't feel abundant. I felt cold, and I was just like, this doesn't feel like I want, period. I want to get out of this, right? I want to get me out. I want to get my wife out. I want to get the kids out, right? So your why doesn't have to be this big, grand, I want to impact 20 million people in the next 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be that. And finding your why, I mean, it's important to understand why you're doing it, because some of the time when you feel like quitting, it's just easy to go, I remember why I'm doing it. When there are people relying on you, you keep going, even when you feel like you have nothing more in the tank. So I would just say to people here, your why doesn't have to be about other people. If your why is to make a crap ton of money because you know that you were born rich and you're actually not rich right now, you do that. Go do that. Right? There's nothing wrong with actually wanting to become really, really, really rich. There's nothing wrong with that. And the only person judging you is you.
Wow. The only person judging you is you. Is open the mind for, because it's only in our mind that someone is judging me, but the reality is you are judging yourself personally. Thank you so much, Liz, for sharing tons of golden nugget with us. Literally, this session I can say is lots of golden nuggets, lots of fun, lots of emotional moment. But literally, thank you so much, Liz,
You're
for.
so welcome. You're so welcome.
Here is your website. What can you share a little bit about it? lizbenny.com.
So lizbenny.com. So it's really interesting that you're asking that, because part of the journey that we go through as entrepreneurs is finding the depths of our soul, finding the depths of our and whoever just said thank you, you're so welcome. I'm actually, so that's actually quite a new website. I've had it up for around, 6-7 months, but I'm changing it, because I have come recently on a journey to America, as you all know, and you know me as a bright, happy, energetic person. And one of the mistakes that I made, listen, whoever asked about failure, one of the mistakes that I made was I actually rebranded with subdued colors. So if you go to lizbenny.com, it's elegant and it's blissful and it's gorgeous and it's blue and peaceful and sad and solemn. And I'm like, what did I do? So coming over here to America, and I actually just spoke to a color therapist the other day. So a person who does branding for businesses. And she's like, you're more pink than I've ever known pink to be pink. I'm like, I know, I used to be pink. And now I'm like blue. So I'm rebranding right now. So you ask about lizbenny.com. Well, everything that's on there is honest. It's just the wrong colors. Yeah, I felt that it wasn't quite Liz. Whoever you are, I don't even know you, meaning I can't see your name right now. But then if you go from this interview where I'm like all energetic and you go to lizbenny.com, you're, the frick happened here? So anyone in here that goes, I was about to do an Indian accent. I do a really good Indian accent, but I was like, no, don't do an Indian accent. I used to have a person who worked with me from India, and it's the coolest accent in the world. I love the vobble. That's one of the coolest things that I love. But
awesome.
Sylvia, thank you. Yeah, it wasn't quite. It's not Liz. It's not Liz.
Yes, yes. I actually, to be honest, I love the colors and everything on that particular website. I check this website, read the Russell comment, I read the comment of, testimonial of Garrett J. Russell Branson. It's awesome.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Oh, it's
I really
amazing.
love
Like
it.
it's, I'm just gonna give it a. I'm just gonna give it a. It's gonna be pink. It's gonna have
Awesome.
some energy in it.
Oh, wow, amazing. So, Liz, before we wrap up the show, any three advice you want to share to entrepreneurs, upcoming entrepreneurs or struggling entrepreneurs?
um, the first one is this: take time to step away from your current world. It's one of the greatest gifts that I've given myself. On September 14th, I jumped on a plane. Didn't physically jump on it. I actually walked onto the plane. But I got on a plane and I was prepared to leave my life in New Zealand behind in search of what I knew to be true for me. And there's something in the air. Everyone is leveling up with the energy. Whoever that is, I think it might be Sylvia again. But yeah, there is definitely something in the air at the moment, especially for women. And I'm not just saying, that if you don't associate with, being a woman, then it's not to say that you can't be successful. But women are, in particular, starting to vibe at a higher level at the moment that they ever have. It's like, holy crap! I'm unlocking. Hello. So, but this advice that I'm giving you right now is for everyone here. Take time to actually step away from your life. And it might feel uncomfortable. You might feel like, oh, I can't financially do that. But you can quite literally right now you can find a way to step away from your life as you currently know it and breathe. Turn the TV off. Netflix, Facebook, podcasts, and just stop and go, what am I done with? What is no longer me? What do I seek that? What do I know to be true that I haven't seen because my world is too noisy? So the first thing that I would say is stop and plug into the higher version of yourself because it's there for you. It's just that you've been distracting yourself with day-to-day life and all the thoughts, feelings, habits, behaviors, belief systems of the past. And if you continue to move those into the future, you will get more of what you currently have. And until you take responsibility that your life is your life, nobody is coming in to save you. That's the other thing I'll say. Nobody is coming in to save you. Not your husband, not your wife, not your kids, not your parents. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to do this yourself, right? So the first thing is take some time out. Understand that nobody is coming to save you. And the next thing I would say is live with freaking power, right? I'm just saying to you right now, like when you actually live with power, connect with people, be authentic, live with purpose, take ownership, you will truly have that gorgeously wealthy life and make sure that you are looking after yourself. So you have the energy and understand that you're going to have to be resilient because just because you take all this time out and, and go, I want a better life, doesn't mean it's not going to hurt sometimes. The end.
Live with KAPOW Moment. That is what you have to do, guys, who is watching us right now. Thank you so much, Liz, for sharing tons of golden nugget. Literally super awesome session we have. And thank you so much once again for joining us and giving your precious time, especially when you are on travel, but still you joined us and serving to this all the community and to this particular podcast. Thank you so much once again.
You're
Lots of
so
love.
very welcome. You're so welcome.
So there you go, guys. There you go. She is Liz Benny and she shared tons of golden nuggets. Share your biggest takeaway from this particular interview and as well as show your love to Liz in the comment section. What is the one thing that you like the most? And I'll be coming up with the super awesome guest on the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. Till then, have a great day.